Well, this weekend marks the 60th anniversary of Bloody Sunday. So many events already underway to commemorate that major civil rights movement. Joining me now in studio, we have David, the host of Flex Radio, along with Giovanni Jackson, author and co-host of the Flex Radio. Thank y'all so much for joining us in studio.
Oh,
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
David, we'll start with you. Tell us a little bit about Flex Radio, what you do for the community, and why this movement, the civil rights movement, is so important to you.
I mean, well, it's extremely important. Growing up, that's all, you heard about was, especially my mother coming from Alabama. So, so you heard about the racism and things that, our parents and grandparents went through. So what we did was myself and Giovanni, we created the Flex Radio, which helps us give a platform, for people to talk about important things, that go on in our communities. So it's become, we've been doing it for the past couple of years now. And like I said, it gives us the chance to talk to, many different people, discussing important topics, such as, mental health and, racism, amongst other things.
Giovanni, many people in our area obviously know the stories of Selma. Why is it important for you all to use your platform to share this with the world and remember?
Well, simply because the events that took place on March 7th, 1965 are very pivotal in history, especially for our race. There were peaceful marchers that were led by civil rights activists, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., John Lewis, just, to defend and demand the right to vote. Well, demand the right to vote and to ultimately defend it too. They were brutally attacked for that, and that was just a horrible thing. One of the many horrible things that have happened to us in our race. So their courage and their sacrifice led way to the passage of the Voters' Rights Act of 1965, and it's important today because we're still fighting. In 2025, we're still fighting for equal rights. We're still fighting voter suppression, and it has to come to an end. We have endured, and we will get through this. Don't get it twisted. We'll get through it because that's just in our nature. But more than anything, to be able to get through it, we need to tackle mental health. We need to be strong from within to be able to continue to endure what's going on. So the stigma about mental health in our race needs to end, because we've got to most definitely fix what's on the inside. We have to fix what's on the inside so that we can conduct ourselves for what's going to come to our front door. That's why it's important.
David, there's a long list of events happening this weekend. What are your plans this weekend? How will you all be participating?
Well, we're going to start off by interviewing, we have a host of people that we're going to interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to get in, I've never been to the bridge before.
Oh, wow.
Neither have I.
She's never been.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a great weekend. And I'm looking forward to talk to I think I'm going to talk to everybody. Yeah, we just want to talk to as many people as we can and, see what we can do for our community.
And by you talking to people, sharing this on your platform, you're sharing it with young people. A lot of these young people were not alive.
Right.
No.
Some of them don't know the stories. Why is it so important to share this with the next generation?
Well, not only, some of them don't know, but it seems that some of them don't even care. It seems like
they don't want to know.
Right, they don't want to know, exactly. So I think it's our responsibility, to educate them.
Yes, this needs to be conversation at the dinner table.
Right.
It's like these kids need to know about zoning. These kids need to know about what's going on in the world. Turn the phone off.
Right.
Turn the cell phone. Yeah, no games, no nothing. Let's talk about what's happening.
Now, David, you mentioned your mother's from Alabama.
Correct.
Giovanni, talk about your personal journey. You come from an influential family, and talk about your connection to the civil rights movement and why it's so special to you.
Well, so I am Giovanni Jackson. I am the youngest daughter of Joseph Jackson, patriarch of the Jackson family. The stories that I heard from my dad in regards to, getting the boys involved in music, there was a lot of racism going on back then that my father had to jump over, to get his kids where he needed them to be. and where they needed to be to keep them out of trouble in Gary, Indiana. So, you know, my dad was born during the Great Depression. So he firsthand knew what it was like to deal with this type of thing. And for myself, the reason why civil rights and equality for our race is so important, my daughter, my own child that I gave birth to, was brutally attacked by a racist. Stabbed multiple times all over her body, slashed down both sides of her face, and called the N-word, all while it was being done. And the horrifying part of what I'm saying is, it was one of our own that did it to her. So that's why civil rights, equality is so important for us. We have to continue to demand our rights. We have to. It's in us. We can do it. We just gonna have to keep on doing it until it gets done, because the way things are going now is just, this is unprecedented times, I feel. You know what I mean? There's craziness going on right now. We've got to be able to get through it. We have to be able to get through that.
And we all have to do better.
Yes.
I know you're going to interview, you said almost everybody. You're going to try to talk to everybody. Give us your website so people can keep up with your interviews as you share those stories.
Our website is www.theflexradio.com. It'll be posted up immediately.
And we have a list of all of those events for Selma Bridge Crossing Jubilee Weekend. We will be on the ground as well with them this weekend, interviewing folks as well. Thank you all so much for joining us here in the studio.
Thank you for having us. I also have a website as well, Miss Giovanni Jackson.
Spell that for us.
Oh, MSJOHVONNIE Jackson.com.
Thank you all so much for joining us here in studio. We truly appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
appreciate you
It's
having
been
us,
such
yeah.
an honor. Thank you.